We have a very special guest today, and I am so excited to hear her story. I will let her introduce herself and we can get started.
Hello, my name is Shannon. I am 30 years old and I have Turner syndrome. I was diagnosed at 10 years old and uh, I don't know, I feel like as much as I do, but I am happy to share whatever I can.
Yeah, great. So I just love hearing everybody's stories. there's
Mhm.
there's so many different stories
Oh,
within
yeah.
Turner's.
hmm
So I know you said you were diagnosed at 10.
hmm
What was the red flags? What brought the attention to there might be something more that led to getting diagnosed?
Well, initially, I was diagnosed as neurodivergent. I don't think that I am now, but it was either ADD or ADHD that they thought I had. I took medication for it, and then my mom noticed that there was something other than that. It was mainly like my height. I just appeared to be a lot shorter, obviously, than my peers and stuff like that, when that wasn't really something that we thought about before. So she did research and came about this diagnosis and did the blood test and confirmed it.
Okay. That's really interesting. So when they did the blood test, are you classic or mosaic?
I am mosaic.
Okay. Okay. So what would you say is the biggest way that Turner's impacts you?
Well, the reason why they thought I was neurodivergent, I can't talk. Um, the reason why they thought I was not neurodivergent at first was because of the concentration issues that we tend to have, learning disability, especially with math. That was my worst subject ever.
Oh gosh.
um, but yeah, so that's kind of what started getting things in motion.
Did you, as you got older, did you do any of the HRT or growth hormones or anything?
I was on growth hormone for about 4 years,
Okay.
but other than that, I had started puberty around the right time. I had developed breasts naturally, started my period naturally. I actually needed to get a reduction
Oh,
because of that. But my period had, as I started getting into my late teens, early 20s, started being less regular and eventually stopping
oh,
because I had gone into ovarian failure.
oh, wow. Went into early menopause.
hmm I don't know if they said that specifically, but when I finally went and they checked that out, basically that's what they said, was that I went into ovarian failure.
Oh, wow. Okay.
hmm
That's interesting. I have not so far. I mean, my stories I've heard are still limited. But I had not heard of that happening after diagnosis before. Usually that happens so early, at least in the stories I've heard, that
hmm
by the time you find out, it's already happened. Um, that's really interesting.
hmm
So,
Yeah, I feel like that's why it took so long, is because I didn't really have all those classic signs, and especially it was in um the year 2000 when we found this diagnosis. So at that point there was really even less research than there is now.
yeah, yeah, the research and understanding has come so far.
Yes.
Um, so, what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned through having Turner syndrome? The biggest thing it's taught you?
Wow, that's that's a really deep question. I wasn't prepared for that, but I guess it would be just compassion. I feel like it kind of made me think that, like, everyone, no matter what it is, they always have their own story. So like, and you don't necessarily know what people are going through, because a lot of things like you wouldn't be able to see like on the outside. So you just need to be very compassionate as much as you can towards everyone.
Yes, I love that. I feel like that's something that just the situations that we're put in just
Yeah.
kind of it that's a huge thing for just remembering that everybody has their own struggles.
Yes.
So, it is Turner Syndrome Awareness Month.
Hmm.
I don't know, have you read what the theme is for this year that they announced?
I No, I didn't realize there was themes.
Yeah. So
That's
each
really cool.
year, yeah, they've been really fun. They've been really good. So last year's was Be Uniquely You.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. This year's is Turner Strong,
Hmm.
which is really cool. I really
Yeah.
love it. So what would you say is a experience or a moment or an aspect of your story with Turner syndrome that has made you feel or you've kind of experienced that Turner strong feeling?
I think it's just before I had been told by my gynecologist that I had gone into ovarian failure, I had kind of accepted the fact that I would most likely be infertile, because just like that was expected even before I stopped my period, and then I did, and it's been years, whatever. And that just kind of just like I thought I had accepted it more than I did, and just like that moment of just like, no, this isn't a possibility, it's actually happened, kind of threw me for a loop. And I feel like just having it confirmed just made me feel some type of way, and it just I don't know, I just made me accept it more, if that makes sense. Like it just brought things into sharper focus, made it more real for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that moment learned to truly accept the fact that even though I wasn't planning on having kids biologically anyway because of that, it just made me fully accept it and realize that it didn't make me any less of a person.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah.
I totally relate to it making it more real.
Hmm.
Having it expected or anticipated is so different than getting it confirmed.
Yeah, definitely. Like it was such a weird moment in my life. Like I was like, I mean, like I plan on adopting. I put all this aside like years ago. I don't know why I'm feeling some type of way now, and it was really strange.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it happened. Like I said, because it just, I don't know, made everything like more focused, more real, and it made me stronger, I feel like.
Yeah, I I know for me, there's no way I could have processed all of that and ended up on the other side of that not changed or grown in some way.
Hmm.
Um, it's just such a intense experience, even processing the emotions, let alone
Hmm.
trying to work through them.
Yeah. Yeah, like I called my best friend when I found out, and I'm like, I feel so weird like feeling this type of way. Like accepted it. Like I've known this for years, and just, I don't know, just her saying that, your feelings are valid. This is a very big thing. Like it really helped me. And I think that the fact that I have such an amazing support system in my chosen family really helped with that, and, other personal things that I've been going through in my life.
Yeah, having somebody to talk to about it, having somebody to, I don't know, I call it venting a lot. Venting makes it sound more aggressive than I actually picture it.
No, not at all.
But yeah, having somebody to kind of just get all of that out and
Mhm.
and kind of think, I'm such a verbal processor. It
Yeah.
really helps me the most to be able to talk like that. And absolutely having somebody else be able to encourage you in that way and say,
Mhm.
no, however you're feeling is valid, it's totally fine, is really helpful.
Yeah.
Um, so that's great. So for those that are maybe still figuring some of the Turner stuff out, they either are waiting to get results or may have just gotten a diagnosis. Um, is there anything particular you found really helpful for working through all of that new, just found out things where you're trying to out what, I mean, most of the time you haven't even heard of it before.
I know I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I just take it one day at a time, I guess. It may feel like it in the moment, like, especially if you're doing all that research and seeing all these things that have or could happen. Like, you can always live a fulfilling life. There's always help that you can seek. Like, there's always a way that you can live the life you want. It doesn't mean that you have to be different. And you just have to find your own way. And even if you are different, like, that's not a bad thing. Like like we were saying with us, like, not knowing everyone's struggles. Everyone has struggles. Everyone needs accommodations, an ear to listen to, like,
Yeah.
it's just like any other type of hardship that someone might have. And I luckily don't have that major of a case, where I haven't been affected with it as much as like someone else. So I don't know if I can really speak on like the more like aggressive side of that. I'm more of like a mild case, I would guess you say. I don't know if that's politically correct way to say it, but yeah, I just, like, just try to make sure that you have a great support system. Talk to doctors about things that you can help, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. There's so much variation in the cases. We all are getting such unique experiences of it.
Yes.
Um, which is why I really love hearing everybody's story, because I feel like you learn a little bit from each.
Hmm.
And um, somebody's gonna have a similar story to you. Somebody's gonna relate to some part of your story and be encouraged by it. So
Hmm.
yeah. There's so much information out there about everything.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite like source of information you like to go to?
um Honestly, I um didn't really do much research about it. I love that there was this support system on the Facebook group that you and I met on. But I personally, like, I know a few things because of the doctors. My mother had done research, the when we first found out, but I personally I don't know, like if I had a question about it, I would Google. There isn't like a specific place in general, like that I went to specifically.
I've had to remind myself and balance the like timing of when I research stuff or how much I look at, just because it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely. I think part of the reason why I didn't was because of that. And also, like, how people say, don't, if you're sick, don't go on WebMD. You're gonna just go like drive yourself
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll look up some really slight symptom and then end up convinced you're dying by the time you're done researching it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so I am curious, what has your experience been within the Facebook group? Because I know there's incredible community in it. I've just been so amazed at how much it's helped me to connect with everybody. I think part of that is in how you use the Facebook groups, though, too, um,
Yeah.
as far as how you interact in them.
Mhm.
What's been your favorite part within the community of the Facebook group?
Um, well, there had been a couple of times where I had met up with some people in the group, and we just hung out, talked about random stuff, not necessarily TS related, but just just uh, getting to talk to people like me. I just liked knowing that I wasn't the only one. It's like, even though it's one of the more common ones, it's still not that common where like I've met someone
Yeah.
like me, like that could relate to this particular diagnosis. At least not in a while. I used to hang out with a girl that my mom knew through her parent. Like they were on like, it was like the late 90s, early 2000s, like, like the forums that they had, like the chat rooms. Um, she ended up meeting someone through that, who had a daughter my age, and we used to hang out, but we hadn't hung out in years. So I kind of missed having that camaraderie. And I really appreciate that the Facebook group brought that back for me.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, it is um something where if you don't have somebody else in your life that has it, not just
Mm-hmm.
maybe is head knowledgeable about it, but actually has it,
Mm-hmm.
um, it is such a different experience to then be able to talk to somebody else.
Yeah.
Is there anything within your Turner syndrome experience that you feel like you would want more research on, like to understand better?
Hmm, I don't know if, I mean, like, obviously there can always be more research done with everything. I think the main thing is um awareness. I don't know that I would have known that Turner syndrome was a thing unless I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like it's just, I don't know. I just think that just in general, I think it just needs to be, there needs to be more awareness, just more research done in general. I don't know if there's anything specific. And also just instead of trying to fix the problems we have, maybe just be more supportive about what we do have.
Mm.
Instead of trying to fix things, just give support about us trying to be who we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's a lot of it. Like, take these growth hormones, do this surgery, whatever. Like, why do we have to? You know what I mean? Like, I
Mm.
know that like certain things are for our medical benefit and whatever, but like the more cosmetic stuff or, you know, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a few aspects of different things that are much more of a this is an option if you want it
Mm-hmm.
versus it's a, I don't want to say treatment, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
like actually medically therapeutic thing to do.
Yeah. Like I know bone density is an issue for us.
Yeah.
So, and you know, hormone levels and stuff like that. And I find, you know, that's fine. But like, you know, like um you know, like trying to fix the web necks or, you know, breast augmentation, that kind of thing. Like I feel like the focus is more on that when it shouldn't be. I feel like it's just, it should be about helping us and viewing ourselves as beautiful or attractive, or, you know, like just fine the way we are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's some element that it's easy to fall into the trap of trying to feel normal and trying to
Mm-hmm.
fit that normal picture of things.
Yeah.
And that, yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely something that you have to navigate when you're looking at options because yeah, doctors are going to say, I mean, the doctors
Mhm.
offered the neck surgery to my parents when I was like almost just born.
Wow.
And they were like, no,
Yeah.
no, not now at the least. And so they
How
left
about we
that.
talk about the hormone imbalances that you might have in the future first before we talk about like,
Yeah.
yeah, that, I don't know, that just seems very off to me. And obviously when you are of an age where you can consent to that yourself and you feel like you need to, fine.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Yeah. It's something that it's very, I mean, granted, it is cosmetic. Like I had the neck surgery. I ultimately made the decision that I wanted it when I was, oh gosh, 16. I think was when I had two, and the first one I think was
Mhm.
16. Um,
And good for you. I'm not judging anyone
oh
who.
yeah, no, not at all. But it is, unless there's something specific, it is a choice. It's a cosmetic surgery. It's not something
Exactly.
that is benefiting your health. Um,
Mhm.
and there are serious risks and things like that that you have to take into consideration with it. And is it worth it? Um,
Exactly.
versus like the hormones, where there's a lot of health benefits that are necessary with that, if
Yes.
that's something you need help with. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and I feel like it does kind of, it can get all lumped in together and it
Mhm.
creates a picture of we're trying to make you normal.
Yes.
Um, which yeah doesn't help with the whole having trouble feeling like a woman when you
Mhm.
already, yeah, at least me, and I've heard it from other women too, when it's your body's not functioning the way it's supposed to, it can feel hard, and
Yeah.
that just doesn't help.
No, and I completely understand that.
Was there anything that we have not mentioned yet that you would want to say or share? um just any thoughts that you would want somebody else listening to know?
Mm. I feel like I myself do have a little bit more of like a unique perspective on it because of the fact that I'm gay. I was more worried about my fertility before I had come out to myself, because like I had this mental picture of, you know, the white picket fence, the husband, the house, the 2.5 kids, and then I I think it helped me, me being gay helped me accept the fact that that wouldn't necessarily be it in the way that I had imagined. Yes, I can still have kids and in the house and the spouse and everything. I just might need to um adopt or have my partner carry, if they so choose, that kind of thing. So I feel like that's it um why I had accepted it a lot faster than I probably would have
Mm.
if I had not been gay.
Yeah, I can see how that would make it a little bit of a different experience to process it.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
do you think that helped you process better just feeling different in general from Turner's?
Feeling different.
Like
um
like feeling, because with Turner's there can be so many things that make you feel like you're different in how you function sometimes. And
mhm.
I think having a different experience to process on top of that might also help deal with some of that too.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely helped. I never really had that moment that a lot of gay people have of like not accepting it right away or just like straight up denial, like, or anything. Yeah, I think it definitely helped me feel more comfortable, if that makes sense. And also, I also identify as non-binary, so I feel like feeling like a woman is not as important to me as others,
Okay.
as other people who are who have Turner syndrome do. Even though it was a little bit difficult to me to hear about the fertility and stuff like that, I feel like that also helped me accept things easier and maybe not have as much body dysphoria,
Okay. Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see how that would kind of it would definitely shift the perspective.
Hmm.
So,
Did I just throw a lot of
oh
stuff
no,
at you?
you're fine. I was just trying to think of where I wanted to go next. Um, I hope the way I worded my question was okay. I hope
Yeah,
you
no,
got
it's
what I
fine.
was meaning. Okay.
Yeah, no, of
Um,
course.
what is your experience with Turner syndrome like right now, as far as you're an adult now? Is there any um, specific treatments or doctors that you see?
Um, no, not really. Physically, like I said, it hadn't, other than the infertility, it hadn't really affected me that much. Thankfully, like there's no really bone density issues, nor no really hormone imbalances or anything like that. The main thing that I noticed going out of high school into like college and jobs and stuff like that, that at least for me, because I don't necessarily retain certain things as much because of the concentration issues that we have and stuff like that. I feel like it made it harder to maintain a job,
Mhm.
especially like retail stuff where everything's like fast paced and you need to memorize this and everything. So employers would get frustrated with me, I feel like, because I wasn't learning things as fast as they feel like I should have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. Do you think it's changed your approach to, like, when you're trying to do stuff? Have you had any like tips or tricks on navigating that? Because I know it is a very, very common thing with Turners that a lot of us have.
Mhm. Um, I mean, right now I'm in the most financially stable place I have been. I've been at my job for almost 2 years now. but I would say to anyone who's kind of struggling with that, maybe be more open about it with your employer. I think the issue before was I didn't really talk about it because I just didn't really see it as a factor. But the last like year or so, I'm kind of realizing, oh, that's probably what was going on. Like I understood I had concentration issues and that affected school and stuff like that a little bit. I had help. I passed everything on time, whatever. But when you are looking for jobs and stuff, it's not quite that simple.
Yeah.
So I think just being upfront about that and just saying, hey, this is going on. I think you need to be more patient with me might help,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah. That's kind of, it's similar to what I've um kind of encouraged people that are having struggles in school.
Mhm.
I think the biggest thing that makes it difficult is maybe being nervous about talking to them about it and sharing it, uh,
Mhm.
feeling a little bit nervous about if you'll be judged for it or how they'll
Yeah.
react or if they'll understand. And
Mhm.
I I think communication is so huge for all of those types of situations.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking to me. It has been great getting to hear your story and chat. Um, unless there's anything else you would like to share, I will let you go.
All right, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my story. I love that you are giving this safe space for people like us, and just like bringing awareness to people who may not know
Yeah.
and may need to know, like loved ones and medical professionals and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that, and thank you for asking me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.